Until you win, effort always goes unnoticed. Get used to it. No one roots for you until everyone roots for you. That's just how it works.
Yeah, people only root for those who don't need to be rooted for. Most people don't change. They live the same 6 months of their lives 100 times in a row, and then they die. They go to the same places, they make the same jokes, they tell the same stories, they work the same job, and then they die. And it's all because they were never willing to be uncomfortable, because they were never willing to change. And a lot of people get really uncomfortable when I talk about this, but most people are average. The average person stays stuck in the same patterns. And so if you want to have a different outcome, you have to walk a different path. The hardest part of entrepreneurship is the uncertainty that all your sacrifice will be for nothing, that we give up everything now for nothing later. But then you remember the life that you walked away from to pursue your dream, and then you realize that there's no going back, and so you keep going. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of 10 years of uncertainty, rejection, and suffering. It just comes down to wanting what you're after more than you hate all the things that you have to do to get it. And so despite all the hardship that you're going through, you just gotta believe with all your fucking heart that you're gonna make it. If you are someone who's ambitious, and this is me just talking specifically to you, you have to get used to being alone. I'm saying this because I used to think that there was something wrong with me, when in reality, I just didn't understand what the nature of being exceptional meant. To be exceptional means that you are the exception. It means that you are not normal. And so it's normal for normal people to find you abnormal if you do things that are not normal. I had plenty of friends who were like, I want to be an NFL player. I want to be a really rich tech entrepreneur. I want to be a touring musician, right? And they had these goals, but I'm like, dude, I see you just playing Fortnite 4 hours a day and you practice guitar once a week. Like, do you really want that? Or do you just like saying it because it makes you feel good? Realizing that I thought most people actually made no sense. They say they had these goals, but they took no action. And they called me work obsessed, and they would tell me I should take time off, and they're like, hey, you're not as cool anymore. You're not hanging out with the boys. Like, why aren't you participating in the fantasy league? Why aren't you watching football on Sunday with us? But the thing is that like I needed that Sunday because I had to prep workouts, I had to prep the music list for the next day, I had to run billing. And I looked at that football game and I was like, 1 year from today, will I remember this football game? Or will I remember the fact that I'm not where I said I wanted to be? Have you heard the story of the pottery class? There's a teacher and he's got 2 classes that he teaches. And one class, he says, the only assignment for this whole semester is that you come back with a perfect clay pot. That's it. That's the assignment. The other class, he says, your objective is to make the most total quantity of clay pots, and you'll be measured by how many pots you make. And at the end of the quarter, the pots that came from the team that had to just make sheer volume, not only did they make more pots, but the quality of all of their pots was better compared to the teams that only had to make one. And it just underlines the biggest lesson that I've learned in my life, which is that volume negates luck, is that you can try to be lucky and pick the one perfect thing and try and make it, but if you don't want to try and be lucky, you can just do so much fucking work that you will brute force your way to figuring it out. Like, champions are broken. People look at champions and try and find something that champion has that they don't have. He's like, but it's not that at all. He's like, they lack something everyone else has, which is an off button. They just don't stop. If we're optimizing for outcomes, then the most broken person will win. The person who has the absolute biggest, desire for achievement, the absolute biggest fear or pain that they're running away from, and the hardest impulse control. Like, that's what's painful, is that it takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact, they're like, hey, you're not gonna hit it big. And guess what, a month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not gonna have hit it big yet. And they're gonna be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not gonna have hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're gonna feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades. Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're gonna step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it. And I just love that visual, because a lot of times when it's like we have this anxiety around this big decision we have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not gonna drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you get a little wet.
I ask every guest at the end of the podcast, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received? But I'll change it for you a bit.
Oh, wow.
If all your books, videos, and tweets were erased from the internet forever, and all you had was the next 60 seconds, what's the most useful thought you could leave to the world?
Figure out what you want, ignore the opinions of others, and do so much volume that it would be unreasonable that you would be unsuccessful.
Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Alex Hormozi. This is the Jack Neal Podcast. Appreciate you coming on.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just try to remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. Because to become who you want, you have to go through periods you don't. You don't learn how to go through hardship without going through hard shit. And so if it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you. I have nothing going for me. I have no advantages. I have nothing to my name. I have no money. I have no network. I have no resources. It also means that you have nothing to lose, which makes you incredibly dangerous. And I think people wildly underestimate how many shots on goal you can take when you have nothing to lose, because the worst case scenario is baseline, is where you're currently at. It's like going to the casino and playing craps, but they say that you can just keep playing until you win. But people are afraid to roll. Every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're doing these free tutorials online to try and figure out how to set up a podcast. And you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success. The sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and fit back into the conformity because it's comfortable and it's warm. Because like in the Matrix, when Trinity opens the door, when Neo's about to go take the red pill and he wants to get out of the car, she says, Neo, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads. And I know that's not where you want to be. And then he closes the door. Like right now, this moment that you're going through is Trinity opening the door and being like, you could go back, but then you'd have to remember exactly what the reason was that you decided not to go out to begin with, just because you listen to this podcast and you consume this content. And you're like, I can do more than this. And you start to see the person that you could be. And you're like, this does start to feel like hell. My father used to tell me, a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. And so your most valuable asset isn't your time, it's your attention. A man with time and distractions will always lose to a man with a deadline and a singular focus. And so it's never been easier to be successful than it is today. It's just also never been easier to be distracted. Most skills can be learned decently with about 20 hours of focused effort. 20 hours. Like the first 20 hours of you actually doing something, you learn the most you're going to learn about the thing. If you just consider by percentage of learning from like you know nothing to 20 hours in, you already have a really good understanding of the thing. The problem is that most people will take years to start the first hour. You're 9 to 5, you work to feed your present. You're 5 to 9, you work to feed your future. You're Monday to Friday, you work to feed your present. You're Saturday to Sunday, you use to feed your future. The only difference between a rich person and a poor person is what they do in their free time. Abundance favors the persistent, not the deserving. So to get ahead, you just gotta work like you're coming up from behind, because you are. Here's a decade plus of business lessons summarized into 60 seconds. Promise late, deliver early, learn fast, trust slow, bet big, test small, give first, ask last, ignore opinions, treasure facts, always promote, never slander, disregard doubters, believe in you, persist always, and stop never. When I was in the early days of the gym and I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and I was going to sleep at 11 and it would go on for weeks on end, I would have to tell myself, you don't need more sleep. You just need a better reason to get out of bed. And so I think the point isn't to avoid suffering. It's to find something worth suffering for. Because no one gets to the end of their life and says, I wish I'd played it safe. You're going to die. And I think it's just about how hard you're willing to fight to not let your dreams die with you. I want to make $1 million a year. Fine. Guess how rare that is? You want to guess? It's not 1%. 1% $600K in the US. And if you're global, forget about it. So you want to make $1 million a year. That's not even a 1 out of 100 goal. It's a 1 out of 200, 1 out of 300 goal. And you have that goal and you think that somehow you're going to behave like the 299 and get there. It's not normal. It's unbalanced. You have to take unrelenting, obsessive amounts of action for a disproportionate period of time where you get zero reward for doing so. If anything, you just get disproportionate punishment for
taking this, and you question your own sanity half the time because you're like, am I just being crazy? Is it insane for me to have these aspirations, these goals, these dreams for my life? And everyone around you will tell you yes, because it's in their best interest, because it makes it your failure protects their ego. And so people demand success but refuse to work, right? They won't work weekends. People want opportunity but won't talk to strangers. People claim ambition, but they sleep in every day, right? We're the result of our actions, not our aspirations. So many people have the same goal as you, but very few of them will do the same work as you. And so you have to have uneven work to have an uneven goal.
There's one person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with if you believe in marriage. And like the strength of the relationship you have with your significant other has a 0.71 correlation to your overall subjective well-being. So more than anything, how well you get along with the person you spend all your time with, which makes sense. You spend the majority of your time with this person. And so I think that if there's ever something to be obsessive over, it would be that.
A cheat code that I know at 34 that I wish I knew at 24. Anything worth doing takes exceptionally longer than you expect it to. And until you've worked 1,000 hours on one single project, you don't even understand the amount of work that it takes to make something great. And by extension, why you can really not do many things at all if you want them to be worth doing.
If you have no money, you should have no shame. Knock, call, DM, email, ask. Life-changing doors don't open themselves. Worst case scenario, you are in the exact same position you were before, except you have a little bit more experience. Best case scenario, the door opens and your life changes forever. And so it's a zero risk move to take more shots on goal when life gives you unlimited shots. But the problem is that most people just don't want to take the first one because they fear rejection more than regret. So one of my favorite quotes is, the work works on you more than you work on it. And so if you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you. There is profit in all labor. And that means that even if the thing that you're working on right now doesn't amount to the outcome that you expected that it would, it doesn't mean that you don't become better through doing it. So I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to, oh, poor everyone else who's going to have to fucking try.